name is Jason from Sow the Land. Recently I did a how I quit sugar video, and I got a lot of good feedback from that, really positive feedback. And today's video is going to be about how my diet changed after I was diagnosed with cancer. I share our journey with me having had cancer because that is the reason why we moved out here. That is the reason why we left the city. That is the reason why we want to grow our own food. We want to live as healthy and as simply as possible. I was diagnosed with cancer in 2009, which is 10 years ago. I had lymphoma cancer, and I did 6 months of chemo, and that was it. I guess I got off easy. You know, I was 30 years old when I got cancer. Before that, I think I had the, standard American diet. Fast food, soda, pretty much anything I wanted to eat, I would eat. I think at the time, I felt that I was eating pretty healthy. But then cancer showed up, and that just changed our life. That changed our way of thinking. Then we started to question, okay, is what we're eating good? Should we be eating this stuff? Should I stop drinking soda? Should we stop eating fast food? Maybe only eating fast food on the weekends is still not good. As we were trying to figure out and searching for answers, like, why did I get cancer? Don't really know. I'm not saying it was because of the food I was eating. The only thing that we could help, we felt, was our diet. Like, maybe we need to eat better. I usually cook breakfast in the morning for myself so I could just hurry up and get out the door. These are our eggs that are egg layers made. Potatoes cooked in coconut oil. Now, if you never had a homegrown egg, a pasture-raised homegrown egg, the yolks are a lot more yellow than the store-bought eggs. If you do a side-by-side comparison, the store-bought eggs are almost white, and these are like really bright yellow, almost orangey. So then that's what you want. You want that egg to look like that. Now, all these potatoes are not all for me. I usually don't eat all of it, so I'll make a little bit extra for the family, and then maybe throw in some kale and just kind of whatever vegetables we have on hand, chop it up, throw it in there, and then done. And that's, wait till that almost done, and that's it. This is a simple breakfast meal, a typical breakfast that I would make in the morning. It's pretty quick. And then I usually like to add some homemade sauerkraut, and that's my breakfast for the morning. Very simple, easy to make, real food, and minimal ingredients. So during chemo is when we really started to look at nutrition. It was a very slow process. First thing I did was cut out soda. I remember when going through chemo, I would go to the oncologist, they would plug me in, they would start dripping chemo into my veins. And there was a bunch of chairs there, so it was like a circle of people, like, just getting chemo in. And I remember just sitting there, and I would see people like bringing in fast food while they were getting chemo treatment. And that just, it didn't make sense to me. Like, I also saw, after people getting chemo treatments, outside smoking. It made no sense. So seeing that, it really, like, man, I don't think I should be eating fast food. Like, it just wasn't appealing to me. I felt like I needed to be as healthy as possible, and I thought fast food is not it. Next thing we started looking at was wheat and gluten. It was incredibly difficult to be gluten-free back then. Now it's easy. It's easy to be gluten-free. I mean, they have a gluten-free section at the grocery store if you really wanted to be gluten-free. It's easy. They have boxed gluten-free mix that you can buy. Back then, they didn't have that. And so gluten-free for us was cutting out wheat, not eating wheat at all. It was more about eating real food, like eating more vegetables, stop eating sandwiches, eating a bowl of food, basically. And that was extremely difficult to do. So from there, it just evolved. And for lunch, I usually have just a simple salad just kind of kale, kind of whatever we're growing at the time in our garden, and maybe a banana, an apple. I'm a huge fan of salads, and I just like to keep it real food, simple for lunch. We started to learn about other diets, the paleo diet, the keto diet, and back then I think those were fairly kind of new diets. Now it seems like everybody's on keto, everyone knows about paleo, everyone's doing gluten-free. We would have to do our own research, actually seek out recipes before everybody even knew what these diets were. And so as we were, we started to eat a more paleo diet, and then we started cutting out sugar. So slowly we're trying to like figure out all these diets. So then you hear about paleo diet. Is this, oh, maybe this is the diet that's gonna heal me. When I mean heal, I mean I was feeling better after chemo, but chemo itself is poison, right? So basically I was getting fed poison. And so I felt like I almost had to eat healthy to like detox my body from the chemo and heal my body from the cancer and the chemo. And so that's when I started running a lot. I started hiking a lot. I felt like I needed to sweat. I needed to just release as many toxins as I possibly can from my body. And so I was hiking, running, searching for different diets. Then we started to do research on fermented foods, and maybe I needed to heal my gut. And then we found out about the GAPS diet. So I did the GAPS diet. So paleo, keto, GAPS diet, all these diets, and gluten-free, no sugar. That was like years and years and years and years of trying to figure out what foods are healthy and what foods that we should be cutting out. And after doing all those diets over the years, what we realized is that I don't like the word diet. The way I eat now after cancer, I think we kind of took pieces out of all those different diets that I tried. The food that works for me, that I feel like has really helped me in this journey, in this cancer, in this after cancer journey, is eating real food, eating nothing processed, no sugar, and eating no wheat. I actually did find out that I am allergic to wheat, so I try to stay away from it altogether. So no sugar, real food, nothing processed, minimal ingredients, and that's it. Just very simple way of eating. And it is very difficult to eat and change your eating habits, because the first 30 years of my life I ate a certain way, and I was taught a certain way. This is okay to eat. This is what people eat. This is what everybody eats. So for the last 10 years of my life, trying to change those thoughts, trying to change my mind on what's healthy and what I actually need to stay healthy and to be healthy. That's difficult. But when we were able to wrap our mind around what's healthy, what's good, what's bad, it became not a diet anymore. Instead of a diet, it just became normal, and it became a way of life.
And for dinner, we always make a homemade meal together here in our kitchen. I'm making one of our favorite meals with some shredded chicken from our pastured birds that we raised here on our property. Here I've cooked it in the Instant Pot, and I've taken all the meat off the bone. I'm getting ready to put it in our cast iron skillet with some seasonings. Some of our most favorite meals don't have names, and they don't really have a recipe. It's just a bowl full of food. We grew these squash in the summertime last year, and we're eating them now in the wintertime. Also from our food storage is some black beans that I canned last year. We've been going through these beans all winter, and I'm about ready to can another batch. There's brown rice, black beans, salad mix, some pasture-raised chicken, avocado, some of my homemade sauerkraut and some avocado slices and some more of my avocado dressing that I made that's really good. Oh, and there's some of our squash that we grew last summer in our garden. This is one of our typical meals that we have here in our house. It's just real food, real simple, easy to make.
That last appointment I had with my oncologist, when they said, okay, you're cancer-free, I asked her, okay, so now that I'm cancer-free and no more chemo, is there some kind of protocol that I need to follow? Is there maybe some kind of nutrition plan that I need to follow? What she told me was, no, just go back doing whatever it is that you were doing before. Go back to your normal life. After she said that, I thought, the only thing that I can do to prevent me from having cancer is exercising and eating right. I just wanted to share with you guys that, because I do get a lot of questions. I get a lot of messages asking me about our diet and a little bit more about my cancer story and my cancer journey and after cancer. If there's anything specific that you want to know, leave them down in the comments below and maybe I'll address them in another video. And some of the recipes that Lorraine shares with you guys, and those are the kinds of foods that we eat. Those are the things that we've learned over the last 10 years on how to make, because we didn't have those things when we first started. And if these videos can help someone on their journey, on their path with cancer or after cancer, even if with not, even just to try to be healthy, I think that's all the better. And my name is Jason from Sow the Land. I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you guys next time.